So if I was just starting out, what advice would you give me to launch my business? Like, could you give me like a series of steps?
Uh, well, the best thing, of course, is to figure out what it is you do well and who would need it. Sometimes that's your existing work. Sometimes it's your existing employer. Sometimes it's maybe customers. Sometimes it has nothing to do with it. Maybe you just have a skill that other people like. Wow, I wish I did that. Like, can you do this for me? And that's how people often get into like handicraft work, where working with wood or maybe pottery or artistic stuff. It's like, oh, I never did that. But for other stuff, you need to think, what am I going to offer people? What is my customer? Who is my customer? Where is my customer? And well, you don't necessarily need to plan a whole bunch of things. You do need to kind of give yourself an outline of what you want to do. So you have an idea when you go talk to people and give them that 30-second pitch and say, here's what I do. Can I help you with it? That's because that's what people remember. People don't remember that you did 25 different things. They remember you say you do this, great. And that either works for them or it doesn't, or maybe they'll refer you to somebody. But you need that focus. You need to know what it is you're going to offer people. It's like, I'm just going to offer content marketing. Well, that's nice, but is it a niche? Is there a specific aspect? Are you medical? Are you fintech? Are you this? Are you that? You need to have something that really gives people the reason to want to talk to you and want to hire you. Otherwise, you're just kind of like, filling space, which doesn't help anybody.
That niche is so important. It's one of the things we teach at London Real Academy. And niching down until it hurts, to be so
Yeah,
specific on the messaging that you're going to give a potential client or customer or audience is really, really crucial. Mhm. So
100%.
what so once we kind of know what we're going to do, how do we actually get that business out there? How do we find our voice and market it? Because I know that you do marketing advisory as well for organizations. So how do you help them start to spread the word? Because once you have the concept, you need people to know about it. So pitch is one way, but what else can we do to refine our voice?
Right. So that actually gets into a very hard stage for a lot of people. How to
Mm.
market yourself. Most people don't want to talk about themselves. Most people don't even know how to talk about themselves, let alone what it is they're going to do for people. And it's not simple. You pretty much want to start with a basic sentence. I do X for Y to give them Z. You know, I do marketing for startups to help them make more money. Something simple, something just the basics. From there, the sky is the limit. If you're wanting to do a job as a content writer, then you probably want to start writing content and getting it out there. You want to show people what you can do. If you're a graphic person or if you're a website designer, you should put out some demos or at least make one for your cat or whatever it is. Just so you have something to show people the stuff you've done or the stuff you could do. And then once you have a small portfolio, a couple things to tinker with and play with, then you want to basically say, okay, now let's figure out where's my best effort? Is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Facebook? Is it something totally different? Do I want to go down the Reddit, rabbit hole? There's all kinds of places and things you can do. And everything works differently for everybody. And case in point, a lot of people think I do a lot of marketing and LinkedIn, and the last four projects I've got all came from Facebook. So it's kind of a funny thing because I don't advertise on Facebook. I interact with people on Facebook and help people, question people, ask things and support people. But the last four projects came from there. So if you had asked me, a few years ago, where did I get business from Facebook? The answer would have been no. But that's where I'm getting business from. So sometimes what you plan to do versus what actually happens also isn't exactly a science. Unfortunately, as we know, marketing is kind of 50% guesswork and 50% getting it right. And the trick is to figure out which one is which.
Wow. I mean, it's a lot of work, but worth it if you really hone that craft, or you could get to the point where you outsource it. as well to people who are
Right.
better at that field than you are so that you can focus on the things that you love doing and are good at. Would you
And
agree?
you'll get to that eventually once you have some cash flow, because most people don't have the money up front to do all that. But there are things that you can do that are reasonably cheap, so to speak. You can use the AI stuff to give you content or write your headlines or do some of the basic stuff you want at graphic work. And it's free. You just need to spend a little time editing and cleaning it up. But it is there, and it will give you that feeling that you're doing something better than on your own. Like sometimes I'll write something and I'll be like, it's okay, but I'm not sure what I'm missing. I'll throw it into it just to see what it can spit back and give me as options. And that's always sometimes better because sometimes the options are what takes your head somewhere and says, "Oh, that's a cool idea. I didn't think about that. Let's go chase that and let's write that and let's push that out." And sometimes that actually works because it's something you hadn't thought of, but the spark of idea and genius just can come from anywhere.
That's true. So, what I know that once you have your business going and you might need to pitch for funding. And I know that's something really special that you do at B2B Whisper is you help startup companies find that money. So let's talk about how do you find that money as a startup company?
All right. So without getting into all the financial details, there's a few ways to get money for your startup. Obviously, your immediate need is yourself, or your family, right? I'm going to do this and I need a little bit of money to get started, blah, blah, blah. Fine. You can usually get that. But then it becomes now what, right? What else do I need? And you could go to a bank, but the bank is going to say, well, you don't have any business. You don't have anything to show for it. And the bank is happy to give you money these days. Of course, they'll give you $5,000, $10,000, whatever it is. But you still got to figure out how are you going to pay that back.